Y'all, it's your girl Rose and I'm back with another video. But before we get right into it, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscription button, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, and make sure you like this video because you are going to like this video. The first question I get all the time is concerning what I majored in as far as undergrad. A lot of people ask me if I was a pre-law major, if I was a criminal justice major, if I was a political science major, and the answer to that question is no. The interesting thing about law school is that prior to law school, you can major in anything. You just have to have a bachelor's degree to go to law school. And so the good thing about that is if you are still kind of undecided and you're still exploring and you don't want to just kind of like lock yourself in to the legal field, you can learn business, you can learn PE, you can learn whatever, and later decide that you want to come to law school. Me personally, I was a psychology major with a minor in human development and family studies. I guess along with that, a question I get is, do you need legal experience to go to law school? And the answer to that question is no. I did not have legal experience prior to law school and never was a legal intern. None of that. Again, prior to law school, I was an educator. Should you take a gap year? From my experience, I think I benefited from not going directly into undergrad to law school, but I think you can find pros and cons for both. If you have questions or are interested in hearing more about my life taking a gap year, check the description box below because again, I did make a video on this and I've linked it below. Can I work my first year of law school? So it is recommended during the first year of law school that you do not work. As someone who did not work the first year of law school, who had all the adult bills, because again, I was an older law student, so I was used to paying everything on my own. I left a full-time salary to go back to school and make no money. I get why you would want to work, but from my experience, I see the pros in not being able to work, primarily because law school is so time consuming. I think our law school allows full-time students to work up to 20 hours. It's not recommended, but they do have, space where if you are in a situation where you have to make money, you can make some money. But the drawback to that is when you're working, you're not studying, and that could interfere with your success in your classes and things of that nature. So it's definitely something to be mindful of. Again, it's not recommended that you work. However, I will say I have friends in law school who did work the first year and who did well the first year. So it could depend on personality type as well, but it's not recommended. But the school you attend may allow you to work a certain amount of hours, or they may request that you don't work any hours. So what should I do this summer before law school? So it's very interesting to me that a lot of students think after they get accepted, they should spend their summer prior to law school like reading law school stuff, even though they don't know what books they're taking, they don't have their class list. That's very interesting to me. And I think it kind of shows like a go-getter mentality, which is great. I think for me, what did I do the summer before my law school? Summer before law school, I did a lot of relaxing. I traveled a little bit. I hung out with my friends. And then, of course, as law school started and as we received like orientation materials, I did what I needed to do as far as like orientation and being prepared for that and being prepared for my first week of classes. But I did not spend my first year summer like trying to find a law job or reading case books, primarily because I didn't know what to read. I would recommend that there's a book written by one of my professors called One Hell of a Ride. I will link it below. If you have time and like to read for leisure, I think that book just gives a good picture of the first year of law school and could give you some tips that could be beneficial to you. But I don't have a list of things that one should do relating to law school this summer before they start law school. If anything, I think you should spend that summer preparing your family for the fact that in the fall you're going to be really busy. You won't have that much time, so you should spend as much time with your loved ones and maybe make some experience and things like that that you really will not have the opportunity to do, because summers are spent gaining actual legal practice experience, and so you won't be traveling the world a lot in the summer or having all the free time that you might have now. So this is a funny question that I get. What type of law do you study in law school? You'll study various aspects of the law. You don't study one particular type of law in law school. Now, you hear people all the time that say, I want to be a prosecutor, I want to be a public defender, or I want to be, you know, a family law lawyer, I want to be a divorce lawyer, whatever the case may be. But while they're getting their legal career, like while they're in law school, they're learning every type of law. And that's just because the law isn't something, you have to learn all of these things before you can even like find your niche or where you want to be at in the legal field. And so essentially you're studying all the types of law while you're in law school. You're going to study legal writing, you might study trial advocacy, you're going to study criminal law, you're going to study, you know, how the courts are set up, and that'll be what you do in law school. And then after you graduate, you'll narrow that down to the area of law that you want to practice in. And that's why your summers are so important, because summers give you the opportunity to try different areas of law. This one a lot. What do I want to do with my law degree after law school? So it's my desire to, I'm very public interest mindset. That's why I came to law school. That's really where my heart is. And so the big picture is I want to support people who can't normally afford legal assistance. Right now, my passion points are, you know, education law, criminal defense, juvenile justice. I did a health law clinic, which I really enjoyed. And so I'm asking God to give me direction if like that's an area I might be interested in, but it'll definitely be something in the public realm, public interest realm. I don't want to do big corporate law. That's not my desire. How do you dress in law school, or how should you dress in law school? If you guys check this description box, because I have a couple videos below of what I wore like my first week of law school and things like that. So for me, again, I was an older law student. So I had, most of my clothes were professional clothes. I was a teacher. I dressed, you know, business casual at work. So I came into law school dressing like I would dress for a job. I'm not saying you have to do that. I do think depending on where your law school is and who's in and out of your law school, you do want to look professional. I know I have some friends who just keep a blazer in their lockers in case they got to throw it on. You know, you never know who's in the building. And my particular law school, we have judges in the building. We have various lawyers in the building. I mean, we have really important people in our building at all times. You don't want to just come in looking like, you know, you're not somebody. You know, keep up with your appearance to the best degree that you can. I think you should look nice. That doesn't mean you wear a suit every day. I'm not saying you have to do that. Be yourself, be within your personality. But, you know, I think there are some, you want to be professional and you want to be perceived as someone who has the ability to be respectable and professional. So, you know, keep your dress in that realm. Now, I did not have suits prior to law school, so I did get some cheap suits from like Dillard's, I think. Yeah, Dillard's and Macy's. And I say cheap because there are suits that were way more expensive that I could not afford. So I'm not talking about like $20 cheap, but I got like a set for like $100 or something at Macy's. Do I have to go to a top tier law school to be successful? No. That's just the answer. I'm at a phenomenal law school. I love my law school. My law school is perfect for me. It's not a top tier law school. It's a great law school. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got some top tier stuff happening and we got some top tier people. It's just not classified as a top tier law school. I would say that I have had a lot of success at my law school, and there are phenomenal people who have gone to my law school who are extremely successful, and they are examples that you can go to whatever law school and be successful. I think the biggest thing is, can you thrive at that law school, and is that law school a good fit for you? You get your JD, hopefully you pass the bar, and you practice law. And the name of your school can, yeah, I do think that there's, like, if you go to Harvard and Yale and all that stuff, they can open doors for you. But I also think, I know for me, Memphis Law has opened doors for me already and will continue to do so. So I don't think you have to go to a top tier law school to be successful, and that would just be a crazy thought. I think wherever you go, where you're supposed to go, and success will come. You be diligent in your work, you be professional, be kind to people, put yourself out there, you know, get outside your comfort zone, work hard, and success will come. This last question I get a lot, and this will be the last one I answer. So if you have other questions and they haven't gotten answered, please leave them in the comments below. But how do you pay for law school? So this is my third professional degree. My first degree, I was on scholarship and loans. My second degree was completely paid for. My law degree is essentially the same, scholarship and loans. So that's how I pay for it. I will say every year I've gotten more and more scholarships, which means I've decreased my loan amount. But I do take out loans to go to law school, and that's just it. You may be blessed and you may do awesome on the LSAT, or you may go to a school that wants to support you fully. I say follow the money. Don't, again, because when you finish law school, you're going to get a law degree just like everyone else. So what I will say is, you should not go into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to get a law degree if there's a school who wants to support you more financially. That's one thing I appreciated about Memphis Law. Financially, we are one of the cheapest schools in the nation, and every year I've been extended more and more scholarship opportunities, and every year I've applied for more and more scholarship opportunities, and there are scholarship opportunities, right? And so I think that should play a factor into you choosing the law school. You don't want to go to Harvard if Harvard isn't going to give you any money to go there. That's just my opinion, but that's my belief for all college degrees. Follow the money. If they're going to give you a full ride, go. Okay. Side note with that, I did not work my first year, but I did work my second year. I worked the summer after my first year. I worked at a law firm and actually got paid $25 an hour to do that. That was great. Loved it. And then throughout this school year, I worked as a graduate assistant for the diversity office. So I do work throughout the school year now, and I'll continue to do that during my third year of law school. So that's kind of how my income, that's kind of where I get a little more money from. But yeah, y'all, those were just my most asked questions. Again, if you have any other questions for me, please leave them below, or if you don't feel comfortable leaving them below, you can feel free to email them to me. Tomorrow I start summer classes. I'm taking 2 summer classes, sales and family law. And the only reason I'm taking summer classes is because I couldn't take sales in the fall because it conflicted with another class. And if I take family law this summer, I'll take it with one of my study buddies, which will just be helpful because then we can take biz orgs together in the fall. So it just worked out. I wasn't super pro summer classes, but it worked out, so I did it. I'm also working this summer as well, so it's kind of like a both end. If need be, I will make a part 2, so if you have other questions, leave them below. And until next time, it's your girl Rose. Peace.